At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. This is going to be me this morning at about 10:20, looking up at the sun with my proper glass. I can't see a thing right now. I can only assume, oh yeah, I am. I can only assume that you all can see me. This, if you want to see the eclipse at all, you need to be wearing a pair of these. Or if you have, I believe there are, welding glass that you can also use as well, but you got to know the proper ones. So unless you know exactly what you're dealing with, this is what you need to be using when it comes to looking at the eclipse, because you're not going to notice it. If you're just out and about today, you're not going to notice the sun. I can see now. Good morning, everyone. I don't know why I had them on for so long. But so you won't be able to see. The thing is, for those that are in the path of totality, which we're nowhere near it, by the way. It's Texas, off to the north and east from there. So we're nowhere near that. But they're going to notice a dimming of, it's going to feel darker, it's going to look darker, and for quite a while. But for us, it won't even be noticeable. So you've got to know what's going on at what time, and then you can look up with the proper glasses, and boom, you're watching a partial eclipse of the sun. It's not as spectacular for us, but still it's neat. It's neat to see the moon kind of covering the sun even just a little bit here. We'll get into that a little bit more detail about, you know, when we expect the eclipse, how much of an eclipse we do expect to see, and what our cloud conditions will be like, because that's the big story for our friends across the nation. Many people planned years in advance. They booked their hotels in the path of totality. What they didn't think about was the weather. You can't predict it years out, right? And you know, you head to where it starts in Mexico, through Texas, and even just to the north and east of that, it's going to be overcast. There's going to be a lot of cloud cover out there. And it's really not until you head out to the north and east that they have a better chance of seeing the, you know, without the clouds being in the way. So it's going to be interesting to see where we see the cloud cover, where we don't across the nation. But ironically enough, we got sunny skies, and we're only going to get about 25 to 30, was it a little over 30% in some areas, depending on where you are here in Northern California. But it won't be that, again, it won't be noticeable unless you're actually looking at it and watching it with the proper equipment. We'll get into all of that a little bit later. I do want to remind you that I do have a free Weather NorCal app. You can, of course, download that for free from your iPhone or from your Android device. Just search for Weather NorCal in your. It's reached a point now where it's just gonna pop up when you start typing in weather and then NOR. Once you get into the NOR, it should pretty much pop up Weather NorCal. You'll see, of course, the box there, the Weather NorCal logo, the WN, and then just download that for free. You can also watch many different ways on your smart TV. If you have a smart TV in general that has YouTube on it, you're good to go. You just have to go to the Weather NorCal YouTube channel. Not only can you watch the 24-hour streaming channel there, and of course watch this live broadcast as well, starting at 6:30 in the morning, but you can also watch my latest forecast and any of the other forecasts and any other special programming I have, which we'll see Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals today. You can watch that on the YouTube channel as well. And don't forget about Fire TV, and not to mention Roku as well. It's kind of interesting. So yesterday I had a chance to go out skiing with my son for one last trip out on the mountain. And it was a beautiful day for many of us. Turned out to be absolutely gorgeous out there. But boy, I tell you what, it was a little chilly out there on the mountain. I was cold. We saw off and on snow flurries. So there were periods of time where, yeah, I mean, it was nice. We didn't see much in the way of snow. And then suddenly, boom, you get this big downpour of snow. And it created actually a little bit of powder. Powder on the mountain. So it was really nice. It was nicely groomed when we first started, but then the powder got on there, and unfortunately it kind of created some problems with my skis where if I didn't have a very good slope, I didn't have a chance. But there you can see, of course, some of the snow flurries that we did see. You can see some of the showers that we did see outside of the valley. But the valley did get to see mainly sunny skies, and not to mention, some warmer temperatures too. So there we are on the hill, Mount Shasta Ski Park. One final day on the mountain. Look at those goggles he's got. Those are pretty fancy things there. I just had my sunglasses, which, by the way, if I plan on going on the mountain more, which I do since he's on Alpine, next year I've got my season pass ready to go. I've got to buy some skis, and I can just go up there when he's practicing. But when it's snowing, even sunglasses don't help. The snow gets in your eyes, and it's no fun. So yeah, I got to invest in some nice goggles as well. Maybe some like his, so we can swap out those. You can swap out the lenses on those. It's pretty cool. And he's a great bargain shopper. He's learned from me. Those are, they look fancy, right? But he got them at a really good price. So I plan on probably getting the same one so we can swap out lenses and stuff like that. Should be fun. This is, of course, what it looked like off in the distance. And this is what the flurries look like. You see how it cleared out where I was at that time taking the picture. But there you can see the flurries that were heading our way. You can kind of see the clouds, and then right below the base of the clouds, you see another what looks like clouds. That's snow. That's the snow and part of the flurries that we did see. So kind of a gorgeous sight out there. Speaking of gorgeous, take a look at this. Krista de Mercurio, her son was on sunrise or sunset duty during spring break, and this is one of the images he took out there at, I believe it was near Big League Dreams. And you can see the sunset there. I'm sure many of you saw a beautiful sunset based on what we're seeing here. There were some showers as well. But boy, what a gorgeous sight that was indeed. So thank you all for sending in your images, or your photos. Of course, you can always send those photos through the free Weather NorCal app. Here's what it looks like on Main Street. It looks like someone walking to work. Not bad, right? Not bad weather. A little chilly out there. Looks like they're dressed up warmly here, but the traffic is flowing smoothly, even on Highway 99 at Neal Road. Looks like people heading out to work, maybe getting the kids out. And it's probably a little early bringing the kids out to school at this point, but kids are back. Many of the kids have been on spring break, and now it's time to come back to reality. We were driving out the mountain, and I was, telling Aiden, hey, excited to go back to school, and of course he had no comment. He's not excited to go back to school. It's never fun coming back after a long week vacation like that. Or break. We didn't go on a vacation. There's Highway 44, Sundial Bridge Dry. There you can, of course, see the clear skies out there this morning. Taking a look out on the coast in Crescent City. Look at that. What a gorgeous sight. Very nice. Out at Harbor District. Looks like some color is coming in, but off in the distance, not much in the way of cloud cover. This is going to be good viewing for the partial eclipse, at least for us. There's a look at Lake Oroville, North Forebay, looking at the mainly sunny skies out there this morning. And of course, we take a look at what it looks like right now in just north of Trinidad in Elk Country. You've got the sunny skies there to start off the morning. So yes, it's a little chilly starting off the day, but not too bad. We take a look at the temperatures right now. We're in the low to mid 40s for us here in the valley. And of course, we've got temperatures in the 20s for the higher elevation. So cold in the mountains. 20 degrees for Alturas right now. 27 in Susanville. Burning about 24 and 31 degrees in Mount Shasta City. Let's take a look at that visibility out there this morning. There may be some patchy fog, especially in Trinity County and some of those inland valleys for Del Norte and Humboldt counties. But for the most part, we have got those clear skies and not much in the way of fog out there this morning. You can see the big ridge of high pressure, or not really big. It's a ridge of high pressure. And we've got that flow, you'll notice, right over Northern California. That is going to give us breezy conditions at times this morning. But as we go into the afternoon, those winds should die down. All right, so here's what it looks like for today. Your neighborhood at a glance. There's our 6 neighborhoods that we focus here on Weather NorCal. Of course, it gives us some great focus for all of the different microclimates in this area, including Trinity County, the North Coast, Siskiyou, Modoc, and the Eastern Mountains. And there you can see it's going to be mainly dry. Maybe some clouds later this afternoon for the North Coast, but shouldn't have an impact on viewing the eclipse because it's not going to be till this afternoon that those clouds probably begin to kind of come in. And temperatures are starting to warm up, but they'll be warmer as we go into the next few days. All right, so speaking of the eclipse, you can see the path of totality. It's in Mexico, right? And then, of course, it makes its way up through Texas. and then Arkansas, then off to the north and east. And when we take a look at where we are, we're nowhere near it, right? It's just not as spectacular. So we are anywhere from the 20 to 40% coverage in Northern California. And it's good conditions. We'll have good conditions for viewing it. It just won't be as spectacular as our neighbors off to the east. So let's take a look at the kind of totality of what we'll be looking at here. So again, it depends on where you are. Out towards extreme northwest California, Crescent City, just a little over 25% of the sun will be covered by the moon. Now, as you start heading to the south and east and south, you see how it gets a little bit better. 26.5, Eureka, Mount Shasta City, 28.7. Almost 30% coverage for Redding. Alturas, 31.3%. And there you can see Chico, almost 32%, although Susanville will be a bit better, close to 33% of coverage of the sun. So again, is it going to make any difference? If you're in Crescent City, are you going to be like, oh, I got to get to Susanville so I can get almost 33? No, it's not going to be that noticeably different. So don't waste your time driving anywhere, honestly. And you can view it from anywhere, just your backyard, your front yard, it doesn't matter. Just look up at the sun with the special glasses and you'll be fine. And we're going to be looking at sunny skies. Now, it will start at approximately 10:20 this morning. So look up at the sun around 10:20 and you'll notice just a little bit of it being covered. Kind of look at the bottom right-hand corner of the sun, or corner, there's no corners on the sun, but you get what I'm talking about. Bottom right portion of the sun, you'll start to see it kind of getting covered. Now, 11:20 is when it will be at its max. So these percentages that you see here, at about 11:20, that's what you'll be looking at when you're using your special glasses. Then, of course, a little after, I think it's about 12:17 this afternoon, is when it's all over. So about 12:17, 12:20. So, I mean, it's going to be pretty cool. I mean, it's going to be neat to see, but just not as spectacular as our friends that are viewing totality. And here's the thing. I feel bad for those that did, get their hotels early and the works, because, again, we're going to take a look back at that map of, let's see here. Oh, wrong one. I was going to show you here. Let's see if we can get back to it. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So I feel bad for those because, a lot of people are, Texas and even just northeast of that. But it's going to be a lot of cloud cover out there. They've got rain in the forecast. I mean, it's just, it's no good. I mean, there will be areas that will probably see some clearing, but it's really the north and east. Those are the folks that planned accordingly. But from what I understand, there are people who had hotel rooms and everything in Texas. They heard it was going to be overcast. They bought tickets last minute to get out to the northeast where it's going to be better. I mean, can you imagine the expense that would go into that as well? So kind of interesting. I don't know. For me, I wish I could see. I have never had the pleasure of seeing a total eclipse. And I was really hoping to maybe check this one out. But, weather NorCal, I started it up. I can't do anything yet. We're getting there. I'll get a nice vacation. This summer, folks, I tell you what. This summer, this is when this is the big summer. This is the summer I'm going to finally take my son out on a nice vacation. And my wife. My wife deserves a nice vacation, although she's gone on a few without me. It's okay. I'm not going to make her suffer with me. Let's see here. But yeah, I'm planning. I've got the help, and I'll be able to get the help. And Weather NorCal is growing. More advertisers means more funding going into the pot there, and that makes things a lot easier for us to get more help. So that's good. But we need to keep more sponsors. We need to get more sponsors. If you're interested, of course, you know how to contact me. You just go to the website and go to the contact section. You'll have to forgive me. I'm a little distracted here because I want to make sure that I can get you back to everything that you need here. Oh, so we were talking about the eclipse. Let's get back to it. I kind of get a little sidetracked here. Let's see what it looks like for us. All right, so here's what it looks like at noon. All right, so maybe a few clouds developing in northwest, but again, shouldn't be a big deal. So I think all of us are going to be dealing with good conditions for the eclipse. And then going into this afternoon, we start to see a few cumulus clouds developing for some of the higher elevations, but I don't expect any rain. I don't expect any snow flurries in the mountains. And then it looks like some fog and some low clouds developing along the coast later on this evening and tonight. All right, let's take a look at your forecast for today. Of course, Trinity County, we're looking at, can you believe this? And we've got rain again in the forecast and cooler temperatures. We're going from 80 on Wednesday back down to 59 degrees by Friday, 52 on Saturday. So it's going to cool off again toward the end of the week. There's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast to the south. But let's not focus on that yet, right? It's going to be gorgeous out there. This is something that a lot of you have been hoping for, and it's going to happen. 63 degrees for high today in Redway, 58 degrees for Redcrest. We take you up north. 56 in Fortuna, 56 degrees for Ferndale, and Rio Dell, about 55 degrees. Take you up to the north, and you can see Trinidad, about 57 today. 59 degrees for Blue Lake, and 68 degrees for Willow Creek. Up north, out towards Smith River, 61. Orleans, 70 degrees. Gorgeous, 55 degrees out in Oric. There's your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Happy Camp, about 67. 62 degrees for Wairika, and Gazelle, small town, very small. 61 degrees, and of course those snow levels around 4,000 to 5,000 feet when that rain arrives, not till the end of the week. And in particular, Saturday is the day that I think we're going to see most of that kind of coming through. Central, eastern Siskiyou County, temperatures mid to upper 50s, although places like McLeod, 62, 64 in Dunsmuir, and Mount Shasta City, about 61. Newell for your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. There's about 57 degrees for Newell, 56 for Canby, and Aden, about 54 degrees. And your eastern mountains neighborhood forecast, temperatures mid to upper 50s, although kind of the lower elevations like Montgomery Creek and Shingletown, Paynes Creek, temperatures there in the mid to upper 60s. How about Lake Elminor, Lassen Park? Still cool there, 57 degrees for high in Chester. There you can see Lake Elminor West, about 56, and Summit Lake under the park, about 43. 56 degrees for Greenville, Paradise, 68 degrees. And there you can see Susanville, a high of 56. Bit cooler out in Janesville, the high of about 49 degrees. And your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by NorCal Tractors. Temperatures should be in the low to mid 70s for your daytime high. 75 degrees for Willows and Durham, 73 degrees for Gridley. We take you up north with 72 degrees for the city of Shasta Lake, 69 in Whiskeytown and Cottonwood, about 73 degrees. So there's your 7-day forecast for Redding. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful for the next several days, and not so beautiful after that. We're back to a chance for showers as early as Friday, but still mild with a high of 70. But we're back down to the low to mid 60s by Saturday, Sunday. At this point in the game, and it's still too early to really pinpoint everything and know exactly how much rain we're going to see, but I think Saturday is going to be the main day that we see the showers, and then maybe some leftover showers on Sunday, and then by early next week, it should dry out again. All right, so there you have it. I know it's one of those things like, really, Mike, you're telling me about rain again? Come on. I know. I got into my studio this morning, and I'm looking at the long-range forecast, and I was like, oh, come on, seriously? I got to tell people about rain again and cooler temperatures? All right. I'm probably not that popular, but I'm popular now because it's going to be gorgeous, right? Good morning from Curtis. Is it ever going to be normal spring? I've been down weather. Yeah, definitely has been up and down, Ronald. You're right. Good morning. Enjoy the week. Very nice in Palisadro today. Yeah, I'm going to take out my window. Ooh, look at that. Nice. Yeah, it looks like a little bit of a breeze. That's what I was talking about. We're kind of between that high and low pressure system right now. Husband and crew are working cattle this morning, and the sun up outside of Millville. Yeah, nice morning. Really is. If you have to work outside, it's not a bad morning out there. I envy those now that are working outdoors. What a week. Anyone else itching to put their seedlings out before Mother Nature has flipped the switch on us? Yeah, you still may want to hold off on that. And we get another little cold snap coming in this weekend. But yeah, I know people get really anxious about planting, but you don't want to get bitten by that unexpected frost or freeze, right? So yeah, I'd hold off another couple weeks until we start seeing some more consistency in that long range. But overall, yeah, that's the case here. By the way, of course, today is Monday. We have got our not pet of the week. That's on Fridays. We've got our Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, which is sponsored by Cottonwood Veterinary Clinic and Cottonwood Small Animal Clinic. Now, as you may or may not know, the Turtle Bay show, there's that animal show that they do. It's called Walk on the Wild Side. There's a lot of work that goes into it. So I was very fortunate to kind of see some of what they do. So what they do is they know kind of the show that they're going to be doing, and they have to, in a sense, retrain the animals. The animals are well trained as it is, but they have to kind of remind them of some of the things in the show and parts of the show. So we go behind the scenes and we take a look at just one animal that they're kind of prepping for the show, and it's really interesting. Here, check it out. Hello everyone, Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. This is another edition of Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, and you can see the sign behind us, which, by the way, it's new. I know you're excited about that. Sharon, this is Sharon Clay, by the way, in case you've never met her before, but I know you have. Walk on the This is the new sign, right?
It is our new sign.
You're so excited.
It pops in the theater.
It does pop. It looks great.
It's great.
I think it's phenomenal, but we are doing a behind-the-scenes Walk on the Wild Side. So what's going on?
So really the deal is, it's April, which is big time training season. Shows start May 11th this year. Ooh. And so that's like not very far away. And it takes like 8 to 10 weeks to prepare for the show. So people don't realize how much goes into actually getting them. We make it look easy with the animals doing their thing. It takes a long time to communicate and train and get them to understand what to do. And so we're in the middle of training season. So we thought we would run a training session with you right now with our crested caracara.
Okay.
Her name is Suerta.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And we're going to have one of our trainers, Jesse's going to be doing the working of her right now. And you never know what's going to happen. So sometimes when we train, like, they're just perfect. They come in, they do it. We're getting a little bit farther and she's doing it. But she has a bum wing. So it's hard for her to fly down. So sometimes, you never know, we may have to pause and come back, because sometimes if she comes in too high because of her wing, she can't come down, and she goes all the way over that way and ends up in a tree over there. And then we have to work on helping her to make her way back down. Okay. So that's what training's all about. Everything here is choice and control. We don't force them. We just help them along and reinforce them and make them want to be with us. And so that's why they don't go anywhere.
Well, should we get to it?
Let's get to it.
All right,
Jesse's over here. We're going to step aside over here, and then Jesse's going to go there. We're going to kind of get out of Suerta's way, and we're going to talk about what's happening. So this is a remote release box that's getting ready to get opened. So here they're going to go with that. Jesse's got a signal that she's got on the ground that she's going to do. Let's pop that box open, and we're going to call her. She can call her name. And then see, she's up a little high. She's up a little high. She is. Look at how she corrected.
What? I saw that.
That was amazing.
That was awesome.
So that is showing a huge amount of confidence, because she used to really not be able to correct if she got too high. So she's a member of the falcon family. She's going to say hi to me.
Nice.
Okay. Now go back over there. We're distracting her training. So once she flies in, she walks with the trainer. That's our idea. We like to show her walking, because even though they're a falcon, they spend a lot of time on the ground. And so she looks more like kind of a vulture and a hawk and a chicken all at once.
I love the hairdo.
Yeah, isn't that the greatest? And it actually moves up and down for communication. Now, she's trained to the color purple.
Okay.
So she shows color discrimination. So we'll do it a couple of times today to show that you can do it in all different ways. I don't know if you want to move over a little bit with the camera, unless you can see what's happening there. And you can see that no matter what we do, she will keep going to the color purple. It shows that they have great color vision. They actually see in the ultraviolet light spectrum.
So this is something that you're kind of this is the beginning phase. This is eventually going to get to the script and everything that you kind of do when you're kind of going into it.
So we'll call her back over here, and we'll just talk a little bit more about her over here, little girl. So yeah, we're going to get into the script. We're going to get into music. Everything's choreographed. The show is 30 minutes. It's got 13, 14 different animals in it. It is fun, educational. It goes so fast. And it's twice a day, starting on May 11th, every days but Mondays.
This is exciting. This is exciting. It's exciting that you got the show coming up here soon. And then on top of that, the training behind all of that and everything that goes into it. It's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work, but it's honestly my favorite thing that we do here is the shows and the training, because a trained animal is a healthy animal. Remember that for your dogs, your cats, and all your animals at home. A trained animal is a healthy animal. Lots of studies have shown it. I love watching. This is an animal that actually was completely wild. Like she was hit by a truck, she was in the wild, and look how comfortable she is with us.
Yeah.
That's
I know.
That's
I don't
the
have
power of choice and control and positive reinforcement. So we love it, and we hope that everybody comes out and sees us for the show.
No, we're excited about it, and I'm sure you all are excited about it as well. Thank you, Suerta. Thank you, Sharon, and we will see you next week for another edition of Turtle Bay, Wonderful World of Animals. All right, I want to thank again Cottonwood Veterinary Clinic and Small Animal Clinic here for their sponsorship of Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. Without our sponsors, such as Cottonwood Vet Clinic, this would not be possible. These special segments, whether NorCal would not be possible. So we've always got to make sure that we mention and thank our sponsors as well. By the way, you know, as we were watching that segment here, you may not have seen it, but when the bird kind of took off and started to kind of fly off, to the bird's left. Remember, she was talking about sometimes it can fly off and then go off into a tree, and they got to help get it down. Well, the Suerta was going in that direction. Was going towards, oh no, we're gonna have to get up in the tree, and then we're gonna have to, you know, help get Suerta down. But what happened was Suerta started going that direction, corrected, and brought herself down to the ground here, and so Sharon was really, really excited to see that Suerta had corrected and gotten, you know, to where she needed to go. So that was really neat to watch that and to see that excitement here. These animals, I mean, what they do with them, it's just absolutely amazing. So I plan on getting out there again. We'll probably looking at maybe some more animals that they're kind of training for the show. I mean, this is the big month that they start prepping for the show, because I believe it's in May. When they open up the show for the summer. So it should be exciting, a lot of fun. But overall, just a fun segment. So before we get into the forecast, one question I want to ask everybody is, are you planning on checking out the solar eclipse? Is it going to be a big deal? I mean, I don't think it is for a lot of people, but maybe it is for you. I'm curious to see, because I mean, it's the talk across the nation. Obviously, if you're in the path of totality, it's a lot more exciting out there, but, you know, that's kind of the bottom line there. All right, tell you what, let's get ready for the forecast here. We are about 3 minutes out when I typically like to make sure that, oops, no, I'm clicking the wrong keyboard there. So let's get you to your forecast here, and before we do that, of course, we've got to mention another one of our sponsors. Of course, our sponsor of Coffee with Krueger is Wind River Resort and Casino. So at Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. So again, I want to thank Wind River for their support of Weather NorCal. All right, let's take a look at our current temperatures out there right now. Not too terribly cold. In fact, pretty mild in the valley right now. We're looking at mid to upper 40s right now, with 48 for Redding, 43 in Chico, 19 for Alturas, and there you can see Susanville, about 27. So obviously, where we typically see those colder temperatures is where we're seeing it, off to the north and east in the eastern mountains, and even in Siskiyou County, Wairika 25, 33 for Mount Shasta City this morning, even Bernie quite cold at about 24, but along the coast, not that bad, in the upper 30s to about 40 degrees right now. So a little breezy to start the week here. Shouldn't be too bad, but you may notice a bit of that nuisance wind this morning and in the early afternoon hours. Otherwise, we do have a warming trend for the next few days with cooler temperatures by the end of the week. All right, yeah, it's going to happen. We got another storm system coming in from the north, not only dropping your temperatures, but yeah, bring us some more wet weather by the end of the week and into the weekend. But until that happens, we've got this ridge of high pressure building in. But what we have here is, you can kind of see a bit of a spin of low pressure here, spin of high pressure here. We're between the two of them, and as a result, that's giving us the breezy conditions. Again, nothing major. You know, we're not looking at any damaging winds, but again, just a bit of a nuisance wind out there, especially through the morning hours into the early afternoon. But as this kind of moves on out of here, the winds die down, high pressure builds in stronger, and we see warmer temperatures as a result. Now, I expect Wednesday will be the peak of the warming trend, but one thing I want you to notice is that that ridge of high pressure is really not terribly strong. So typically when you have that, it's kind of up a little bit more to the north, and it diverts most of the clouds up toward north. So this is not necessarily a blocking ridge of high pressure. It'll still allow a lot of those clouds to kind of filter through over the next few days. but it's not going to bring us any rain. It'll be mainly in the form of high clouds, and that will really be the extent of it. But still, bottom line, much warmer for Wednesday. Then that high pressure starts to break down, and look what happens. We've got another area of low pressure, storm system, riding down to our west. Now, the center of that low is still well off to our west, so we're not going to see the bulk of the rain here until it does move closer to us by the time we get into Saturday. So Saturday, as of right now, it looks like Saturday is the day that we'll see the bulk of any rainfall. Then that area of low pressure kind of shifts a little bit to the south and east, and we could see another shot of some showers here on Sunday, and then it finally scoots on out of here by the time we get into Monday of next week, and we'll probably be looking at drier conditions. Now, the timing, the intensity of all this, I can guarantee you that's going to change. Maybe it comes a little bit sooner, maybe it comes a little bit later, but as of right now, it's looking like kind of toward the end of this week, into the weekend, that we may start to see some of those changes. But in the meantime, we look at the Climate Prediction Center's outlook here for our temperatures. We're barely within that category of above normal temperature. So yes, temperatures are warming up, but it's not a major heat wave by any stretch of the imagination. And the amount of rainfall that we see out of it probably won't amount to much either, because you can see here we're kind of in that below normal category, and looks like a pretty good chance of that. But this is kind of taking into account as after we see that chance for showers this weekend. Now again, the winds, I just want to show you here. There you can see a little breezy for some of us this morning. We take you into about the afternoon hours. They start to subside a little bit, but it's really mainly the coast that I think we'll see off and on breezy conditions here over the next few days. But as we do go into your Tuesday morning, your Tuesday afternoon, the wind's not all that strong. There you can see as we go into your Tuesday afternoon, we'll take you into Wednesday, and once again, a little breezy along the coast, but otherwise not that bad elsewhere. Again, the main story for the winds will be today. But they should subside here as we go into this evening and tonight. There's a look at your wave heights for today. It looks like as we go into your Tuesday, they may increase a little bit. We may eventually, as that storm system approaches from the north and west, eventually later this week, maybe a small correct advisory. But until then, we have no advisories out there. Winds out of the north at about 10 to 15 knots. Could get a little bit stronger this morning, but otherwise should be subsiding here this afternoon. Temperatures today, there's kind of your big footprint over Northern California. Temperatures low to mid 70s in the valley today. There you can see temperatures in the mountains will mainly be in the mid to upper 50s. Some of the colder spots, higher elevations, obviously, like Lassen Park, for example, about 46. But there you can see along the coast, temperatures in the mid to upper 50s there. Trinity County, upper 60s, and also the mid to upper 60s inland for Del Norte and Humboldt counties. Here's a look at your 7-day outlook, and there you can see, looking at the valley, it peaks on Wednesday with maybe a few clouds out there, otherwise mainly sunny skies here. A chance for showers as early as Friday. As it stands right now, the best chance for rain will be here by Saturday. That's when the main event will be here, at least, again, as it stands now. If you've got plans Friday through the weekend, you need to keep checking in with the forecast every day, because, again, this will most likely change as far as the overall intensity as we get closer to the weekend here. But temperatures increasing. Everyone's seen the warming trend that will peak on Wednesday. After that, temperatures do start to slowly drop, especially by the time we do get into Friday and through the weekend. So all in all, looks like we do have some gorgeous weather, but not so gorgeous toward the end of the week and as we go into the weekend as well. All right, folks, that's pretty much going to do it for our forecast. And unless there's anything that anybody has any questions or comments or concerns here, let's see what anybody has to say here. Let's see here. There are people saying, yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, see, the thing is, the overall excitement for the eclipse this year for us is not that exciting, because, again, we're only going to get about a 20 to 30% coverage here, a little bit more than 30% as you head places like Chico and Susanville, for example, but not terribly exciting. Robin saying, if I see the eclipse, cool. If not, no big deal. You know, as I mentioned, these glasses here, I don't know what they're going to be doing at school. But I gave Aiden a few of these for himself and, of course, for his friends, should they want to go out maybe between classes or something and check out the eclipse. But I would like to make sure, if he wants to check it out, that they at least let them out to see it during its totality, or not totality, but at least its max for us, which is about 11:20. I'll be working outside anyway. We'll check it out, but not real important to me. Yeah, Kurt is saying it's not that. I think for most people it's not. I'm not going to worry about seeing the eclipse. I'll wait for pictures. There you go. That's the easiest way. And of course, there are different, I think there are different resources online that you can watch it live. But I mean, honestly, even watching it live online, like I honestly don't see the excitement in it unless I'm there. So, because you get the whole experience. You're around other people who are enjoying it. You can, for the only time in your life, actually look at the sun, which you're not really doing that because the moon is covering it. So you can actually look at the sun without any glasses, only when it's in totality. We will never be able to do that during the day today. Not sure if I missed it, but will you be doing pollen reports? You know, here's the thing about pollen reports. I could do pollen reports. The problem is there's really no good local resource as far as getting what the pollen totals are. There aren't many, if any, really that I know of, at least where I can get access to on a regular basis, areas that record pollen in our area. There's a place called pollen.com, and I could go there and it can do trends, but overall the pollen report, I may look into it. I may see if there's any new resources since I've last checked, but it's just, the pollen report is just not a reliable source because there's just nothing here locally that's recording it, at least that I know of. So if you know of any, let me know. Yeah, I mean, what I probably could do is maybe just kind of show like what some of the more popular pollens are, and if they're starting to kind of come out kind of on an average basis. I mean, I think some of the closest gauges are probably down by Sacramento, honestly. So it's just not going to be a very good one. So there you have it, folks. That is a look at your report. So again, real quickly, for those of you that are interested, and I know there's not a whole lot of excitement about it, but you know, why not? Let's take a look at it. One last look, and we'll start with what it looks like across the nation, because I think it's just kind of neat to see this in general. So today, you can see the eclipse will start in Mexico. And in fact, that's where my mom is right now. She's down, where is she? Oh, she's in a town called Durango, Mexico. And she actually texted me last night, says, oh man, we hear it's going to be overcast. Is there anything you should suggest that we can do? And honestly, with how far away she is, she would have to go up to the northeast to really make sure. But you know, hopefully it's just some high clouds. It looks like some high clouds where she's going to be. So she still may be able to kind of see it filtered through those high clouds. But there you can see the totality. And again, when you look at where we are, it's not so exciting, right? I mean, we're in that 30 to 40%, and of course, northwest of Redding, it's in the 20 to 30%. So it just depends, again, on where you are. And, you know, if you're thinking to yourself, well, I live in Crescent City, but it's a lot better out in places like Susanville, so I should drive down to Susanville, right? No, you're not going to notice it. And the thing is, for those that are in the path of totality, it's going to get dark, right? Because you don't have the sunlight anymore. The moon is covering the sun. So it'll get dark, but then it'll get light again. For us, we won't notice it. If you're going out about your day, you don't have the special glasses and you can't look up at the sun, you're not even going to notice it. You're just going to be going on about your day, and then someone will say, hey, there's an eclipse today. Did you know? Like, what? No, I didn't know. You wouldn't know. You're not going to know. So unfortunately, it's just not too terribly exciting for us. And that's why there's not, you know, a ton of stuff going on for it. I mean, I think it's neat. I think it's great. I love it. I think it's fantastic. And I'm going to get out there with my glasses and check it out. I'm excited about it. It'd be neat. I love it. I wish I could see it in totality, but that's just not going to happen. All right, so there you have it, folks. So glad you could join us this morning for Coffee with Krueger. We're going to wrap things up here. Do want to remind you, too, that if you're heading out the door this morning and you're wondering, hey, who am I going to watch this or listen to on the radio? Well, you can listen to Don and Heather in the mornings on 104.3 K Shasta at a little after 7:30. I do a weather update with them. We like to have some fun as well. Logan Kane in the AM 106X at 7:50 in the morning. Do a weather update with him, and on News Talk KQMS at about 8:05. After their news update, they come to me and we talk about the weather. We also like to try to have a little bit of fun as well. So you can always check out some of the local radio stations out here for some great content, depending on your particular needs and tastes. But I am on those radio stations and you'll hear me. Those are some of my radio partners, so be sure to check that out. Well, that is going to do it, folks, for now. Of course, we'll take a look at some of the cameras out in the area as I try to wrap things up here with some of the cameras, and it looks like things are looking beautiful out there. Great start to the work week, sunny skies. As I said, we'll wrap things up, taking a look at a couple of cameras, and until then, I will see you bright and early tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger starting at 6:30.